I'm a counselor. My name is Steve. I'm a counselor at Ala Wai Elementary School. Can you get your first name?
Carolyn.
Carolyn. I was going to talk about the same thing that Carolyn has talked about, and I talked to Alan about this before. This is something where the DOE, the Department of Education, I think that it shouldn't. I don't know. I'm very optimistic. And I told Alan this. I like the idea about adopting a school, but the way I would structure it would be to include as many schools that are interested in the project. And basically, the theme that I came up with in my year was mentor for every child. So what that means is that it's like sometimes the at-risk kids get a lot of the attention, and a lot of the children who are just trucking along, and they need that little extra personal encouragement and relationship. What the research is beginning to tell us is that what mentorship does is that mentorship follows like two different paths. One path is more like tutorials, where caring adults come in and they accelerate the learning. And then there's the area called human development, or personality development. And this is the area that the researchers have found that is more effective in increasing test scores, attendance, and all that kind of stuff. So what that basically says is that when a school looks for a mentoring program or mentors, they're looking for individuals that are maybe trying to combine some skill that they might have that they might share with someone and develop a caring and a personal relationship with that child. And what usually happens over time is that child begins to progress in school, and actually the relationship becomes quite mutual in the sense that the mentor begins to benefit quite a bit from the relationship with the child. So, my plea to you folks is that whoever you guys choose, I'm willing to support it if it's in the area of mentoring. And like for myself, coming from Ala Wai School, our children are very similar to probably Cololo, but near our school are Jefferson School and Kujo School. So if I would like to encourage you to develop a project with Ala Wai, I would prefer to extend it to the rest of the schools. And to be more specific about things that I try to do, like if I write a research grant, I try to write it for 2 schools, and not just 1 school. Because what I believe is that I know I've been to Palo, and they have one of the most dynamic principals in the school, and she's largely brought that school out of what do you call it, when a school doesn't meet test scores. She guided that school right through the process. And we actually, in our school, go to Palo to study them, so that we can learn more about what they're doing at the school. In relation to that, October 12th, Sunday, and I just talented to just bring the 3 ideas. But just know that mentoring a lot of times is not only one-to-one, it can be mentoring a group of people. And so, the 3 ideas that I came up with in relation to mentoring, the first one has to do with group mentoring. And what that is I call it like hobby day. And what that means is that, like, I'm interested in hula, or I'm interested in juggling. And then I spend 1 hour with a group of children teaching them that skill. And so what I like to do is develop a collaborative kind of relationship with Rising Phoenix, where our teachers, so that you get to know who we are, and you folks begin to develop little clusters or interest groups where children can sign up for a class. And the reason why we have these classes is because many times education, the way it is now, is we really focus on passing the state test. And a lot of times children, they lose out because they might not be the best readers, but if some of you can know how to take apart a computer or take apart a bike, put it back together again, I can probably guarantee you that I can find kids that have not so good reading skills, but are very good with their hands. And so the whole idea with this project is to basically have like maybe 25 people from Rising Phoenix with 25 teachers, collaborate on a day where we structure about 50 groups, and we have about 5 to 10 kids in every group. And what we do is we spend 1 hour with the kids. From that group mentoring experience, the people in Rising Phoenix as well as the teachers will begin to say to themselves, you know, this thing that I'm really interested in is very important to children, and maybe I should share it with children. And so some of you might come back to me and you might say to me, well, Steve, you know, is there any opportunities for me to share with the students in maybe 5 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever it is? And those are the kind of things that we can help you folks feel welcome into our school. But then, when I really think about it, it's not about all the school. It's about public education, and it's about including some of these ideas that you folks can help us with to reach the goal of a mentor for every child. The second idea is basically an idea I was talking to, I think it was Francis, and anyway, he was talking to me about how the Jaycees, we came to this idea of adopted school. We went to one of the offices and saw teachers with a whole bunch of books that they were buying, you know, their marble books, and said, how come you're paying all of this extra money? And he said, well, you know, you can, you know, maybe the Jaycees can help out on those kind of things, material things. But when I look at the Jaycees, what I'm looking at is right over there, talks about leadership development through community service. And I think it was Peter Drucker who wrote a book about the effective executive, and he talked about knowledge-based workers. So this is what I see you folks as. You know, I don't see you folks as people that can only give pencils or, you know, run an errand. But knowledge-based workers are people that come from all fields of endeavor. That when they strike a chord with a child, what usually happens is the child says, aha, very young in their age, and they say that, oh yeah, now I really want to go back in that classroom to learn, because he and I are working on some kind of a project where we're actually using a business skill, political skill. So every field of endeavor that you guys might be in. So I want to apply that idea. I'd like to find 2 mentors. I'd like to develop a student store and a student game room for incentives for children. But I don't want to come from the DOE perspective. I want to come from the idea of, I want to know if there's anything outside of educational thinking that will make this such a motivational tool for students that they will want to increase their on-task behavior, their completion of assignments, homework. The third idea is basically my grand idea of a mentor for every child by utilizing this day for a symposium on mentoring. So what that means is that you folks, as well as myself, and whoever I can get going in, will be collecting all the community resources that would come to this meeting. And what we would do is we would sit in session in relation to why is mentoring important? What does it do for students? And how can we in some way use the skills of all you folks out there to make this a success? And I'll give you an idea. You know,